A couple months ago, Pale Blue supplied me with 4 D-cell batteries, which I've been using in this lantern nightly. Honestly, 45 minutes about every night with my kids. Well, I purposely ran them down because I had this idea. Would it be better to charge them up at home or charge them up on the go? So in order to test this, I'm going to be using this hand crank I just acquired today. It's really loud. Can you hear that? So it has USB on the back, but also has these clips that I can change the voltage. Everything is in a language I don't speak. I used Google Translate a little bit to help me out. So we're gonna hand crank these and see if we could charge 2 D-cell batteries to full and what it's gonna take and how long. Wish me luck. First things first, we gotta remove 2 of the Pale Blue USB-C charged D-cell batteries. Next, we're gonna attach it to the USB port on the back. Now, Pale Blue supplies a very short USB-A to C, but I'm gonna be using this longer one that I have. That is a tight fit. We're gonna plug 2 in. Let's see if it'll even power 2 of them. I haven't tested this yet, so hey, we're all gonna learn together. Maybe this is an absolute failure. Hey, I'm getting a green light. One of them is lighting up, but not the other. Oh, I think what's actually happening is there only enough power coming out of this thing to power 1. So we're gonna charge 1, not 2. Let's see. Do I need more tape? Let's hope not. All right, so one thing I can take away from this is that Pale Blue batteries have a BMS in it because the internal cell is a lithium-ion cell, which is 3.7 volts. But the output voltage of the Pale Blue battery, whether it be the AA, AAA, C, or D cell batteries, is 1.5 volts to mimic the voltage of a alkaline battery. Because it's 3.7 volts and it's only outputting 1.5, they will put all these protections in. And one of the cool features is the battery on the inside just has to be above the chargeable voltage for lithium ion, and this thing will output 1.5 volts. Now, you're not gonna get the full duration of the battery, but you're getting the full voltage of a new battery. Already, I can tell you, plugging this into the wall is a whole lot easier. I'm not loving this. Yeah, this doesn't look fun, does it? Anyway, cranking this to a full charge for one of these would take 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I have 4 of them. This is a terrible idea. Why am I doing this? I guess in an extreme emergency. I don't know what emergency you'd want to do this in. You could sit inside and crank away at this, all sunlight, so that all night you have light. I'm not even getting into the fact that Pale Blue offers a solar panel. The solar panel outputs 21 watts. So where one of these is 11 watts, it takes about 30 minutes to charge from solar. And that's on a really good day. So you might have some fighting with it, but the fact of the matter is you're probably not going to use these till dead every night. So you're just topping them off in the mornings, and over time, it's not going to be hard to achieve it. So something interesting when you're generating electricity from a motor is the amount of energy that it produces is equal to, well, not equal to, but proportionate to the amount of resistance you're feeling. So what happened was I can feel this motor fighting against me. It doesn't want to move because it's charging, but the moment it came disconnected, it spun free. There's no more resistance. So I knew there was a problem. This is actually why electric cars can't charge themselves. You think about, like, what if I put another wheel and has a generator on it, or a generator motor, or alternator, or whatever you want to call them, and just have it charge? Well, because the amount of resistance it's going to put on the other wheels is going to be greater than the amount of energy that it's going to generate. So that's why electric cars can't charge themselves. Not loving this. So the other question is, like, I don't know what the speed that these things can charge at. So if I am able to produce 10 watts, is the limitation on the Pale Blue USB-C charged battery? I don't know, I've got to be like 5 or 6 minutes into this. So one of the things that might be beneficial is where it can output about 45 watts out the back. If I had a larger battery that could absorb or consume that much energy that quickly, it might be better to hand crank and charge up a larger battery than slowly charge things like these Pale Blue batteries. But I don't think there's actually a method that I'm thinking this is the best way to do things. Maybe you could pull this off and connect it to an old bicycle, charge things up that way. Again, I would output to something that can capture that much energy. Maybe you use supercapacitors. I feel like I should give some life advice while I'm doing this. Don't do this. That's my life advice. This is a terrible way to charge a battery. You know what I should do? Just pull it off, stick a drill on there. Just, right? Okay, no, that's cheating, right? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. One thing I can say for certain, I'm really glad Pale Blue does not make a hand crank generator for their batteries. Although maybe they could do it better. They seem to do a lot of other things better. So, do you ever make a choice and then think, shouldn't have made that choice? I'm feeling that way right now. You know what I didn't even think about is, I guess technically, if it's a bad enough voltage, it could destroy the battery's BMS. All right, should we see if it's charged enough that we have the 1.5 volts? Let me see your, thanks bud, we'll switch it to voltage, not amperage. All right, positive. Actually, I think that'll clap. Oh, it does hold it, perfect, okay, and negative. And we see 1.5 volts, hey, okay. I would be able to actually use this at full brightness with the lantern if I did it to all of them. So I have at least an hour of charging, of cranking this thing in order to get the lantern to turn on and get the full voltage necessary. Here's my advice. This isn't worth it. It's not worth it to do this. Maybe I'll do some other experiments with it. I'm sure there's got to be some use for this hand crank. Honestly, if you're going to charge your pale blue batteries, don't use a hand crank generator like this one. It's not going to work.